Hi there. Welcome to today's workout. I'm really happy that you're here and I'm excited to get moving with you. Before we begin, if you like the workout, don't forget to hit the subscribe button below. We're always coming out with great content, and if you want to sign up for my newsletter at nolanfit.com, there's even more great stuff coming out you from there. So, today's workout is going to be about a 15 to 20 minute workout. We're going to cycle through just a whole bunch of different movements. Today's workout is designed as like a primer. So it's the first workout that you've done in a long time. You've been sitting on the couch for a while. You're thinking, yeah, I know I should exercise. So this is a good workout to do to get into that. Follow along as best you can. If anything feels uncomfortable at any point in the workout, just stop, rest, and wait until the next exercise starts. So without further ado, we'll start off standing. So we'll begin standing with feet approximately hip width apart, maybe a little bit wider. And we're going to inhale, raising both hands up over your head. You're going to pretend like you're grabbing onto a giant beach ball or something like that. So you actually have that tension and sink your shoulders down away from your ears. We're going to reach that beach ball over to one side of the room, extending it as far as you can. So you feel a stretch all the way down your side into your hip. And then hold on to that beach ball and bring it back up and then fold it over to the other side. Reaching it out as far as you can, again stretching out through the lat all the way down into your hip. Hold on to that beach ball, squeeze it back up to center. Exercise so nice, let's do it twice. Fold over to the other side, reaching it out as far as you can. One more time back up to the middle, and one more time in the other direction. Reaching it on out, coming back up to center, opening up your heart to limitless possibilities that today has to offer. And then we'll exhale and fold over at the waist down into a forward fold. So just letting your head and your arms hang down loose and relaxed here. Just let your arms hang heavy, let your head hang heavy. You can wiggle your butt from side to side, you can shake your head, you can do whatever you need to do to make this stretch yours. And then bending at the knees, we're going to curl all the way back up to standing. Inhale, raising both hands up over your head. And then exhale, hands down by your sides. Cool. We're going to begin with a set of very generic squats. I like to call these baby chops. I pretend that I'm picking up a baby and I'm throwing them up into the sky. So we're going to go 15 of those, squatting down deep with a straight back and tossing your baby into the sky. When you go down, try to stick your butt back behind you versus your knees out in front of you. Remember to keep breathing. And what we're doing here is we're just getting all of your joints moving and hopefully getting your heart rate up a little bit. High. 15, 14, 15. Once you finish a set of 15, we're going to do the exact same thing, only we're going to do it with a rotation. So we're going to squat down, pick up that baby on the outside of a foot, and then toss it over your opposite shoulder. But don't really toss babies because that's not kind. We're going to do 10 of these on each side. So squatting with rotation, going through the movement, and try to get the whole rotation coming from your hip all the way through your shoulders. 6, 7, 8, we'll go for 2 more, 9, and 10. Cool, and we'll do the same thing on the other side. Now, a lot of people ask me like, oh, how is this functional training? And you never know when you're gonna pick up a baby over here and throw them over there. 3, so going for 10 of these, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Cool, good job. So hopefully that started to get your heart rate elevated a little bit. And now we're gonna bring it down and do some more functional work. So we're gonna do walkouts to push-ups. And I know that like a lot of people don't like push-ups. That's fine, to be honest, I don't like them either. But it's a good skill to get into. So for walkouts to push-ups, raise both hands over your head. Exhale, fall down, try to keep your legs straight. Try to keep your legs straight as you walk yourself all the way out into your plank. Now if you're like, Nolan, I hate push-ups, I'm no good at them, drop down to your knees and keep your elbows close to your sides as you go through your push-up. Come back up in your plank and walk yourself all the way back up to standing with hands over your head. All right, so that was one. Let's go for 5 of these and just kind of see how they go. So raising both hands up, exhale to fold. Lovely stretch through your hamstrings, walking yourself out into your plank. And maybe you want to go for the full push-up this time. So you give it a go, and then walk yourself all the way back up. But just to be clear, knees are totally fine. So there's 2 of those. I'm gonna do this one on my knees just for funsies. Whee! Okay, there's 3. Let's do 2 more. Walking yourself out. This time we'll go for the full push-up. Good, getting yourself all the way back up. And then 1 more to go. Walking yourself all the way out. Oh, too much fun. Great. So those are walkouts to push-ups. Give yourself a little pat on the back, because those are hard. Okay, next thing that we're gonna do is a forward lunge alternate toe touch. So we're gonna go for 20 of these. Big lunge forward, reach for your opposite foot with your hand, come up with your hand over your head. Pretty straightforward. Just go through it at your own pace, at your own range of motion. But what we want to focus on is that back knee getting down close to the ground, but not quite touching. Keep breathing. Big, strong push off that front leg to come back up to standing. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, we'll do 2 more, 19, 20. Super duper. Super duper boo. Okay. Next phase of the operation is we're going to come into sumo squats with trunk rotation. So this is a great exercise for hip, spinal, and shoulder mobility. This is like a mobilization movement. So we have your feet really wide, wider than hip width apart, and we're going to inhale, raising both hands up over your head, and settle down into a nice deep squat, like you're taking a poop in the woods, like that. Both hands come down to the ground till your fingers just about find the floor. Brace an elbow against your knee and reach one arm up towards the sky. Track your gaze up towards your thumb. Bring it on down. Other side. Bring it on down. Both hands come up over your head and then come all the way up to standing. So that's 1. We're going to go for 5 total. Settle down into that nice deep squat. Both hands come up to the sky and come all the way up to standing. There's 2. Settle on down. Both hands go to the floor. One arm rotates up. Other arm rotates up. Both hands come up. We'll do 2 more. Good. Both arms coming up. Nice. And then last one. Nice deep squat. 2 and 5. Excellent. So this definitely kind of get your quads going. And if you're like, whoa, that felt really tight, it felt kind of hard, that's okay. Unless you do them regularly, they usually do feel kind of tight and kind of hard. So in the theory or in the practice of movement to make you more stretchy, we're gonna go for lateral lunges. So start out with your feet together. Keep one leg straight as you step out to the side. So you feel that stretch on your inner thigh. Come back to center, and then same thing in the opposite direction. If you're tight on space, just do 10 on one side, 10 on the other. But if we're going side to side, we're gonna go for 20 total. Try to keep your chest up, shoulders back as you go through the movement. Hands can go anywhere. I like to put them here because idle hands, you know. 11, pushing hard off that outside leg to come back to center. I got 5 more to go. 2, 3, 19, and there's 20. A little happy dance because you're doing a great job. Okay, we're gonna come all the way back down to the ground and prep for another set of push-ups. So we're gonna go for a set of somewhere in the range of 10 to 15 push-ups. These can be done on your knees or on your toes. Leave it entirely up to you. Again, if you're on your knees, try to keep your elbows tight into your sides. So this is what it looks like roughly on your knees. Going down, chin gets close to the ground, and then push yourself back up. All right? Whichever variation you're going for, 10 to 15, starting now. 3, 4, 5, and if you're starting them on your knees and you're like, hey, these are easy, come up on your toes. Great, once you finish your set of 10 to 15, you can stop, rest for a second, take a sip of water. And bring mine. Got my Nolan water bottle. Okay, just so you can mentally prep for what's gonna happen next. We're gonna do a few more leg exercise, one more upper body exercise, and then we'll do some core work, stretch, and then we're done. We're pretty much like halfway through. So, what we're gonna do next is reverse lunge with a straight leg kick. So, left arm goes out in front of you, right leg steps back, and then try and kick your fingertips with your toes. So we'll go for 15 on each side. If balance is kind of an issue, look at something straight ahead that doesn't move. And try to keep your hips level with the floor. 12, 13, 14, 15. Cool. It's also great training to be a New York Rocket. So same thing on the other side, right arm goes out in front of you, left leg steps back. Try and kick your hand. 10, 11, 12, 13, oh, 14, 15. Cool. Rest for a minute. Maybe not a full minute. It's like a trainer minute, which is kind of like a baker's dozen, but it's shorter. Okay, so next thing that we're going to do is the upper body exercise, last one of the day. And we're going to hold a plank with straight arms, and we're going to tap opposite shoulder, okay? So while you're going through that, there's two things you want to try to focus on. One is to keep your hips level with the floor. So you don't want your butt spiking up towards the ceiling. And the other one is don't let your body wobble too much side to side. We're trying to engage your core here. So keep a wide stance with your feet. Tap your opposite shoulder. If you're like Nolan, this is just too hard, do it on your knees, okay? So if you're doing it on your knees, this is essentially what it looks like. All right, we're gonna go for 20 shoulder taps. If you're doing it on your toes, it's the same thing. Just tapping your shoulders. So start whenever you're ready. Count out 20 reps. Great. From me to you, I think you're doing a great job. We're gonna come all the way up to standing. We're gonna do another leg exercise before we take it down to the floor. Fun fact, don't know if it's a fact, I might have just made it up, but people in the Victorian era never had problems with their glute medians, unless you were a big opium smoker, in which case you were hip. Everyone else, they were curtsying all the time. So this is a curtsy with a knee drive up. So we're gonna go for that. We're gonna go 10 of those on each side. So start off with your feet underneath your hips, step back, behind your front foot, bend at both knees, and then come up on one leg. Go for 10, start whenever you're ready. And again, if balance is kind of tricky here, you're like, whoa, I'm falling all over the place. Look at something that doesn't move. In yoga, they call it your drishti, but when you're in an exercise class, you just call it that thing that doesn't move. We'll do 2 more. 9 and 10. Cool. Switch sides, do the same thing on the other. You kind of like shake out your legs for a hot second. Curtsy, and then come on up to standing. 9 and 10. Ta-da! So now we're going to take it down to the floor. If you have a mat, use it. If you don't, you're super tough. Keep being tough. Oops, there's my bottle. Get out of there, yo bottle. Okay. So we're gonna lay on your back with your knees bent, and we're gonna go for a set of crunches. So crunches can be either hands across your shoulders or behind your head. It doesn't really matter, so long as you keep a good space between your chin and your chest. What we're gonna do is curl, so your head and shoulder blades leave the mat, and then come on back down. We're gonna go for 25 of these. Whichever variation you do, try to squeeze up as hard as you can. So you're really engaging that core each time you come up with the big exhale on the way. If you want to make it harder, raise your feet up off the floor. Or use your feet down on the floor. We'll do 5 more to get 25. Cool. And then once you finish up with those, you can stop, rest for a second. Next thing that we're gonna do is hand to toe crunch. So we're gonna straighten out your left leg, raise your right arm over your head behind you. What we're gonna do is crunch up to try and touch your toe over your body, and then everything comes back down at the same time. We're gonna go 10 of those on each side. You can use your left hand to support your head if you feel like your neck is getting stressed out. That doesn't really change the exercise, so long as your shoulder blade is coming up off the floor. 8, 9, and 10. Cool. And then switch sides. Same thing on the other. So straightening out your right leg. Left arm goes over your head. And then crunch up to touch your toes 10 times on each side. 7, 8, 9, and 10. Great. Cool. So we're going to do like 2, maybe 3 more core exercises, depending on how much time we take. So we did an upper ab, we did a lower ab. Now we're going to do something for your obliques, this side part of your body right here. So we're going to cross your right ankle over your left knee and put your left hand behind your head. And then we're gonna crunch up and we're gonna twist your left elbow towards your right knee. We're gonna go 10 of those on each side. Again, if you wanna make them harder, lift your left foot up off the floor. 7, 8, 9, and 10. Cool, and we'll switch sides. So same thing on the other. Left ankle over your right knee, right hand behind your head. Crunch up and twist. Try to bring that right elbow towards your left knee. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, one more is 10. Cool. We're gonna do 2 more exercises. We got time. So lifting up both legs off the ground, creating a little tabletop with your shins, with your toes flexed towards you. We're gonna press your hands into your thighs and your thighs into your hands. We're pushing from opposite direction, legs into arms, arms into legs. And we're gonna hold for 30 seconds. You can keep your head resting on the floor so long as you're breathing deep and even. If you feel the pressure starting to wane, push harder with your legs. Push harder with your hands. 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Stretch out for a second. Push out through the heels of your feet and the heels of your hands. And the last exercise we're going to do is a forearm plank. We're going to hold that for 30 seconds as well. You can do them on straight arms too if you feel like it. I find those a little bit easier. So for planks, you might as well make them harder and just do shorter time. So again, we're gonna try and keep hips level with the floor so you don't have your butt raising too high up towards the sky. And we'll start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're in your plank position. So while we're holding the plank, we're gonna try and push up through your upper spine. So upper spine is going through your scapula, your shoulder blades. And push out through the heels of your feet and the crown of your head. So you're making your body as long and tall as you can. You got 15 more seconds. 10 to go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you're done. Coming down, we'll rest in child's pose for a moment. Stretching out your lower back. We'll come on up and we'll finish with a quad and hip flexor stretch. So on your knees, we'll Step 1 foot forwards. And just giving a little gentle push so you feel that stretch right in here in the front of your hip flexor, and you're like, wow, that feels really good. I wonder what happens if I take the stretch further. You can reach behind you and try and catch onto that foot. And then you got like a pretty aggressive quad stretch. Hold for like 2 or 3 more breaths. Yes, and slowly release to come out. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. So again, if this feels good, like by all means, stay right here. Enjoy that stretch in your hip flexor. So many of us get so tight in the hip flexors. If you want to make it a little bit more intense, try and find that foot or ankle with your left hand. And hold for, 2 or 3 breaths until you get a good stretch in there. And then slowly release and come out. Cool. So that's it for the first workout. Hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to do this as many times as you want. If you like it, remember to hit the subscribe button. Share it with a friend because, if you really enjoy it, you like the work that I do, that's the best way you can help out. And let me know how it went. And I'll see you in the next workout.